What gets wet with drying?
Me.
It's a towel.
Shut up.
It's a great joke. I don't know what you mean. Shut up. No, it's true.
Don't
it's a true fact, and true facts are funny.
Ha ha ha! It's so funny.
I mean, you're not wrong, honestly. I mean, all the 90% of jokes are just like, well, those kind of jokes are just kind of like dad. I guess they are just dad jokes, ain't they?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I can't imagine a stand-up comedian using them anyway. Like, let's see. What 3 letters change a girl into a woman? AGE.
Wow.
Like, yeah,
Wow.
technically, I guess.
I mean, technically the truth.
Yeah, but real comedians are like, "What's new, pussycat?"
Yeah, but it's like, these jokes are so easy to make. It's like, oh, what's in a water bottle?
Water.
Plastic.
Water!
Oh, shit.
think about that
Got
one.
me.
You didn't think about it.
No, I didn't. You're right. You got me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, comedic.
What is the other
I'm
one?
practically a master comedian now.
Yeah, it's the comedy gold book from Chowder.
I didn't watch. I watched a bunch of Chowder, but I don't remember any of Chowder.
It was
I
the,
didn't
the
watch
market
a
guy,
lot
Gustavo. Gustavo.
But that's such a specific moment.
Stop
But I
it.
don't remember that.
Gustavo? I don't know. I think it's Gustavo. There's a whole episode about it. Like comedy gold.
Yeah, I know what you're talking
Uh,
about. I made a Chowder reference at, like, work, I think, and they didn't get it. And I was very upset. Like, did you not watch Chowder? How do you not understand? It's like, I just said, like, Rada. I don't know what I was doing.
Were you in the
But,
kitchen?
like, I was
Yes.
like, yeah. And I was like, and they didn't understand it. And I was like, how? That's like a staple character. It's
Staple.
yeah, it's one of the
It
main
is.
characters.
He-
Is the only thing he says. Like, even if you watch an episode, you'd understand.
It's here. You remember Coco from Foster's Home Imaginary Friends?
Yes.
Mhm.
He's that show's Coco, or vice versa. I don't know which one first.
Was it the same,
Same
team
time.
that worked on the animators?
No.
Writers?
I don't think so.
Because that's oddly, I'd never thought about that. That's oddly similar. Same network, so who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Cartoon Network did have some pretty good classics. There's a few shows, like, everyone loved Ed, Edd n Eddy. Me, personally, I couldn't get into it.
I do not like it. It's weird because I'm someone who likes fluent animation and stuff, and animation like that, but I don't like the shows or stuff. Maybe I found it gross as a kid. Don't know.
Yeah. I don't know, I just didn't, I guess the little amount that I watched, cause I watched like a few episodes, like, yeah, I guess this just isn't sticking with me, as a kid, of course.
Mhm.
But, I just didn't watch. I would watch stuff like, Foster. I watched Courage the Cowardly Dog.
I didn't like Courage. I was
That
scared.
was freaky.
Johnny Test. Cool.
I stupid as I used to watch a lot of Johnny Test.
I did too.
Test.
I did too. Yeah,
Oh, I had a
especially
fire here, turbo charge backpack.
another thing I didn't like on Cartoon Network was Tom and Jerry. I don't know. I just couldn't get into that either. It'd always be like, oh, I skip school, I turn on the TV, and Tom and Jerry's on.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
I just wouldn't like it.
So I remember vividly that there was, I don't know if there was an episode or like a movie, but Tom and Jerry could talk. And no one else has seen that. It's kind of like the My Street scenario.
Oh yeah.
It's like I've met maybe 1 or 2 people that have noticed and remembered that, and it haunts
Just
me.
remember them having like weird clips from the 50s inserted as their voice. Just like random like songs or something. They'd have like weird samples and they like just use the line as specific as possible.
Yeah.
Like Jerry's
Well-
over in like the freaking bathtub and they get some 50s like jazz singer and he's like, "What are you doing in the bathtub?"
Didn't they like make noises and stuff? It wasn't just completely silent.
They screamed, yeah.
Yeah, so like you can kind of get a feel of what their voices would be like.
They changed constantly.
Didn't the dogs have voices?
Yeah, the dogs.
Everybody's-
The big dog. Everyone else had a voice. Which is weird, because usually you'd want your protagonist to have the voice, right?
Well, I guess it makes it more unique, more
It's like the
iconic.
opposite Peanuts.
Well,
The main
yeah.
characters had a voice, but everybody else didn't.
It was like phasing out of the silent film era. It had a mixture of that.
Yeah.
Have you ever watched the silent film?
Yes.
Do
I
Lego
can't-
stop motions without audio count?
Technically, yes. My mom used to be super into them, and I can't tell you, like, I can't name one. I'm not that into film, so. But they are strange.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just freaking, you know, it's like reverse music.
See, going back a little bit to my street, I want to make some kind of channel where all I do is play games that like no one, like people can kind of remember. Some people will know what I'm talking about, but so many people just be like, I have no idea what that is. No one would watch the videos, but I like
11 views.
my street, like what 3 people would watch it, and they'd be like, oh my god, I remember this, and like the other 11 people that might see it would be like, wow, I don't know what this is. It looks like a PlayStation 2 generic game.
You mean every
And that's all it
Xbox
was.
indie game?
Yeah, I was.
Back
I
to this,
wonder
huh?
If we can get a Xbox 360 hard drive with all the indie games, or like most of the indie games, or have them
I still
torrented
have
or
mine.
something.
I don't understand why. I believe Xbox needs a specific file type because I've looked for any of the games ported to PC, right? Maybe you can kind of preserve them or even take them off of a hard drive, like an Xbox hard drive, put them on a PC, and then be able to play them. Obviously, controller inputs would be the same, but they don't. You cannot run them.
Yeah, Total Minor.
You'd still get a 360. I've seen
Total
people like
Minor
a
was kind of a flop.
full on the Xbox is way more successful, which I think is weird. You'd have to use a computer to build the game, like to actually make
which
it.
I find odd as well.
But I have seen where people have jailbroken, or I think they call them JTags on the 360, to a point where they had like all the games almost off of like a cloud system, and it had like its own interface and everything. They could just select whatever game they wanted to use, kind of like the old Revolutionary Ford or Action Replays for DS cartridges.
Me and Martin actually met over an Action Replay on a bus. Anyway, I would pay a lot of money for a full hard drive full of every Xbox Live indie game.
Yeah,
I would pay good money.
that
They're
would
all
be.
terrible,
I'd say
but they're
at
amazing.
least 5 years of content. Like you, how many indie games were out there? You could probably play a new one every day for I don't know, 5 years, maybe a year.
It would turn into a plug and play system, like games you would be able to play for like 5 minutes,
Yeah.
and maybe a hidden gem or two. I mean, that's just what the indie store was.
You know how many plug and play systems I had? I had at least like 5 that I'd actually play.
Oh yeah.
Don't know how much I actually had, but like you plug them into the TV and they just work. Go. I don't know. That kind of stuff is still interesting to me. Like I like it. Like same with arcade cabinets. I like the idea of having and making arcade cabinets, but there would be no use except for like a few hipsters or something or classic arcade fans that would want to buy it.
Dude, when I was in kindergarten, I remember I walked into school one day. The teacher was like, "Yo, congratulations." I'm like, "What do you mean? I'm going to school. Why am I here?" And he's like, "Congrats, you won this. You got drawn to win this." And it's like it was just like a 20 game, like plug and play thing. It's surprisingly high quality. And I remember all of the games being terrible except for like Snafu. And that was it. And I played that for a while.
Yeah, I'm talking about like the ones where it'd be like SpongeBob as the
Yeah, I had
controller and you have a
SpongeBob.
SpongeBob game.
I had that one.
Or you have Spider-Man as the controller, like the ones that are the controllers are the thing. I think John Tron did a video on it.
Yeah.
Would you?
Yeah, those are amazing.
Would you consider the Super Nintendo Mini, like the reboot they did? Would you consider that plug and play?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
I mean,
used
I
to be so
suppose.
expensive. Let me tell you, we were trying to buy that for my dad. We would go to the store constantly 'cause it's always sold out. You look it up online, it's only like $100. You look it up online, people are selling it for like thousands of dollars when it came out because it was like, oh, collectors. It's only collectors because you bought every single thing of it from the store.
Yep.
That is
It's-
what makes it collectors.
Supply and
Well,
demand.
yeah,
I mean, TF2, that's how you make collectors. You buy, what, 1,000 of the item?
Yeah, true.
I'm pretty sure they
Saturate the
even they made them cheaper than that. Not 100. I think it was 60. 'Cause I thought about getting my
yeah.
mom one as well. They're super affordable, but then everyone bought them and resold them.
Just
Created the own
emulate.
market.
Just emulate. You know?
Yeah. I mean,
That's what I always say.
It's cool to have stuff like that. Like, didn't they remake the Atari or something recently? And they did the Sega Genesis and stuff like that. Like, I have the Sega Genesis. I never played it, but I have it.
That reminds me of the really bad Sonic trailer. You know, the screen that says every hero has a Genesis?
Yeah, that's exactly.
It was different in Japan.
It was.
How so?
Yeah, because they didn't have the Sega Genesis.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't know. I can't remember exactly what console they had. It was before my time.
Every hero has a Sega.
Has a Sega.
Just like the.
They pull the 1-2 and they say every villain has a Nintendo.
That sounds like something they'd say, though. It sounds like an actual
Yeah.
marketing tactic they do. Nintendo don't. It's Sega does, and what Nintendo don't. It's like, why? Actually, you know, there isn't console wars anymore. You realize that? Like, nobody cares. There were even, like, the beginning of games, it was Sony and Nintendo, and then they died. And then, like, the year later, PlayStation and, like, the Xbox came out. And then there was immediately, like, tension between that. And then now we're, like, nothing. Like, it's just kind of like console
I
versus
still see
PC
some stuff
maybe.
against PS4 and
Xbox.
Xbox One.
Yeah, well,
little
yeah,
bit.
but it's not nearly as bad as it used to be.
Yeah,
Maybe
like
because we're not a part of it anymore.
well, no, think about it. With Fortnite, I hate that they do some things right. Is with the implementation of I hate the way I said that. When they
Crossplay.
implemented crossplay, yeah. All the other developers and publishers were like, wait, we can do this. And Xbox actually, I want to say it was Microsoft that pushed it. I'd be even more surprised if it was Sony that was like, hey, maybe we should integrate servers. But I always thought that was an insane concept as a kid. Like, oh, my friend with a PlayStation could play with me on Xbox?
Oh yeah,
Weird.
it dictated who you were friends with as a kid.
Yeah.
Well, I hung out with you guys because well, not Logan, but I hung out with you guys because we all had Xboxes. We were gonna buy a PlayStation, but we were like, nah. All the kids have the Xbox around us, and all the kids I talk to might as well get it. I would have hung out with an entirely different group of friends because of what console I bought.
Yeah, I remember that being always a big thing, where it was like, oh, one day there's gonna be crossplay. I'm gonna be able to play with PlayStation people, so I could play like Call of Duty Zombies because I had a PlayStation and an Xbox because I'm bougie like that. And I was like, oh, I can have someone over, they play on that one, so I don't have to split screen. Yeah. And then it never happened, and I was like, well, it must just be like a lie. And now Fortnite does it, and I think there's a lot of people out there who are like, why don't we just make every single multiplayer game crossplay? I don't know exactly how it works, but
it's pretty useless, honestly, in my opinion. It's like, okay, wow, my cousin has a PS4 and I have an Xbox. We can play together. Their voice systems aren't going to work together. You're not going to be able to go in a party.
yeah, you only do game chat.
You can only do game chat, which is terrible for 90% of things. And then you're like, that's not really worth it. You can't add them as a friend. You know how hard it is to find a game when you can't add someone from a friend like that?
Yeah, don't they have their own like separate friend things? Like Fortnite has its own separate friends list and stuff.
I didn't think it did.
I don't know. I haven't played it on console.
Yeah,
I know they have like the battle thing.
The voice chat predicament you brought up reminds me of growing up playing Call of Duty on the Wii. Me and my cousin would play the shit out of World at War. But in the normal like standard Wii, there was no comm systems. So what I'd do is I'd pull up my phone and I'd put them on speaker.
That sounds
Yeah.
awful.
It was terrible.
Did the Wii ever have a microphone?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
I don't know why they had games like that. They had a weird social platform, but there was no way to be social unless you wanted to type it out with a cursor.
Do they even
Wii protect
nowadays?
VR controls before VR controls.
Pretty much. Dude,
Do
Wii
they
Sports,
even have like the
Wii-
Switch has anything like voice?
It does.
Does?
It has a port for it. But yeah, Wii Sports was before its time. Way before its time.
It is. It was a super
Pretty good.
popular game.
Yeah, that's the thing. How many consoles ship with a game that is like one of the most popular games?
Many. Almost all
I,
of them.
I got my Xbox 360 with Kung Fu Panda and Lego Indiana Jones.
Super Mario
I played
on
them
the
twice.
NES. That's all I have to say.
I'm still holding out that Battle for Bikini Bottom is better than Super Mario 64. So
I've never played. Okay, I know I'm sinning, but I've never played Battle for Bikini Bottom. Super Mario 64. DS version is better. Fight me.
oh,
Don't
it
care.
is. I know.
Don't care.
That's the only version I played.
Yeah, same. But I
Um,
don't. Well, I emulated the other one a lot. But it's
Yeah.
DS version is better. I like being able to play as like Yoshi and Luigi.
Man,
It's
Well,
cool.
think of it. Battle for Bikini Bottom has 3 characters that have different movesets. You go through so many places. That is also a cartoon and not a weird live action cartoon from the 90s. No, it's an ongoing cartoon. You have characters you already know. You kill robots. Robots things kids like. You know, and it had the same thing where it's collected, except for stars. You get golden spatulas and stuff like that, and socks.
I think
It's
you're
odd,
forgetting there was a live action Mario, except Mario didn't look like Mario. He more resembled Ron Jeremy.
Yeah, I know. They had the weird live action animation
Goombas
90s
scared
thing.
me a
The
lot.
in between, like half the episode was an actual episode, and the other half was like a PSA. It was like
I
weird.
wouldn't watch it. The Goombas scared me that much. I mean, I watched it and I just remember that they're ingrained in my head. I don't remember anything else. It's gross. I hate
I didn't
it.
know it existed till I was out of watching television.
I will
really.
never watch it. That's the Super Show or the movie?
Super show.
Super Show. Oh, Super
Either
Show's
of
great.
them.
Super Show's good. That one's actually like legitimately okay because it's like half cartoon and half not. It's
Yeah,
funny.
weird.
However,
weird.
the movie is scary. I don't like it. Get it away from me.
But you know what? What movie you should
Hey,
get away
hey,
from?
Bill. Hey, actually, hey, Miyamoto. You mind if we use your property and make a movie out of it?
Is that's your Japanese impression?
That's my Japanese laughing impression.
Screech.
And then they went and literally like grabbed someone's head in the editing and like shrunk it 50%, and then just made it lose all oxygen, so it shriveled up. And then also it was a frog.
But you know what movie show totally isn't terrible, and we should always talk about and hold dear and near to our hearts?
Killer Bean Forever.
Killer Bean Forever. Yes.
Aw, dude.
That is a
dude.
great movie.
I just slapped my thighs and I hope my mic picked it up. Dude, that is a great movie.
No, I'm serious.
That is honestly, it's one of the best movies I've seen this year. I've only seen like 3 movies this year.
Endgame?
Yeah.
Killer Bean Forever beats Endgame. I
Uh,
can believe it.
I mean, it's up there.
I think Killer Bean has a lot more comedic value than like it should.
It's great.
It is a funny movie, even though it even the ragdoll in it and everything, it just all adds. I don't care the production quality. I don't care like how much they were paid or anything. It is a good movie for what it being like 2 guys, 1 guy.
Yeah.
And
Like
looking
one dude
into
directed,
it,
produced, wrote it.
yeah,
Wrote
it
it.
was super impressive. And when we looked into it after the movie, they've been around since the 90s. That's insane.
Mhm. Dude, Killer
Yeah.
Bean, he's eternal.
Hey,
I
I'm
mean,
all
it's
for
I'm
kinda-
hoping
it.
Killer Bean 4 comes out.
Yeah,
I
They should
really
make
am.
a Doom-styled game, but it's Killer Bean.
in
It's
Unreal
like Killer
4.
Bean Eternal. Yeah, that would be
Yes.
pretty cool.
We
I'm about to
gotta
make that
happen.
actually. Well, no, that's licenses. I can't do that.
Yeah, you
Made a
can't.
mobile. Out of all things, they made a mobile game.
Yeah, that's
Right?
kind of weird.
Their
I mean,
movie
just-
has better ragdoll.
Go
physics
ask
than their
the
game.
guy. Go ask. I
Like
forgot
Jeff,
his name.
Jeff Liu.
Jeff Liu. Yes,
Give
I
you
knew his
all
last.
of the revenue. I just want to make Killer Bean Eternal. Killer
Yeah,
Bean
just
Doom
be
Eternal.
like, hey, I'll give you like 100% of the profit. I just want to make a top-down Killer Bean game.
Not even, dude.
You can make
I'd
it like a
learn
ro- you go-
Unreal Engine.
No, you could make like a top-down roguelike of Killer Bean. You know,
That
you
would
can
be
get
pretty
different guns. You can do all this. Even though he has this classic, dual-wielding
Dude,
pistols.
It's a staple. I know. I'd
But-
be really messing with the lore if I did that. But maybe different characters. You could play as a Shadow Bean. Dude, you can play as Shadow
Yeah,
Bean.
you can make your own Shadow Bean.
Dude,
Look at that.
this is a great idea.
Honestly,
I want to be able
dude.
to make my own Shadow Bean. I really
Jeff
do.
Liu, hit us up.
names.
Yeah, we're always looking for guests.
Twitter link in bio.
Yes, we are always looking for guests.
We'll make time for you.
Honestly, I think it'd be interesting to have anyone as a guest on this show. I mean,
An adventure.
This is my neighbor.
they don't like me, but here they are. Yeah. I mean,
they'd have to
more people to talk to. I mean, it helps.
And they get to sit in the
we
center
talk
of the
about
room.
boring stuff. We sit here, we talk about Halo Reach, and they're like, dude, I made Killer Bean. Why aren't we talking about that? We're like, no,
I know,
Halo
right?
Reach.
What if what if we could get in contact with him and he's like, all right, yeah, I'll be on your podcast, but we're not talking about Killer Bean.
Then
We talk about Killer Bean.
and we
Well,
would
no,
break
because you just
contract.
leave.
You just leave. That would be funnier. That would be funny.
That would
If
be
we
We
Yeah,
have
got-
to
we
make sure
got
we get
him
his
to come on
recording,
here.
though.
Yeah, we got him on here. We're recording him. And then we're like, alright, so Killer Bean, and he disconnects.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
He leaves the call.
Someone go send him an
Walks out of
email.
the basement.
Go send him an email. Be like, hey, we really, really want you on our podcast.
Please. I'm begging you. I will pay you any amount of money that is under $1.
That is a legendary first guest. To be fair,
I don't even
I don't
remember.
think
I don't
anyone
know how
can
we
top
could top
that.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think anyone can.
Yo,
He was
Barack.
busy making Killer Bean Forever, too.
Or Killer Bean 2. Or 4. It's actually 4. Killer Bean 4.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Killer Bean Forever.
Oh,
Oh, dude.
Dude,
Aw.
we should just ask him for the rights and or ask to be on his team to make the next Killer Bean.
I don't.
yeah, give
I'm a
him.
game dev.
I bet Martin would be down.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, maybe. He might.
Voices, dude. I would be like every background character ever.
We already did that.
Yeah.
We did that. We made a bunch of storyboards and we had him voice every background character. aka one.
Oh, yeah.
It
Forgot
won.
about that.
And I did good. I thought I did.
This is spoilers for something that will probably never exist, but it might one day.
Hey.
We're
hey,
still
hey.
working on it. If you're
My
listening this
schedule's
far in
freeing
the
up a little bit.
podcast,
Yeah, I feel like
we
that's something
got
we
stuff.
by we should talk about. I really mean Ethan should talk about. You know, kind of projects in progress, things on your mind, inspiration.
I mean, dude, I just look at funny pictures and say, wow, that's rad, and then I draw it.
Oh, funny, can you tell me how to make an egg roll? It's simple. Push it and it rolls. Now that's funny.
That's pretty funny. I do like that one. Got any of those Fortnite funnies?
Do I got any Fortnite funnies, dude?
Tell the pirate group.
I'm hearing the clicks. I know you're going somewhere.
Oh, you know I'm getting the Fortnite funny. I got them on my
Dude,
favorites
I'm
bar.
anticipated.
Alright.
Just tell the pirate joke.
Tell the pirate joke?
Yeah. Let's open up with the pirate joke.
Oh, you want to? Okay, I can tell the pirate joke too. Alright. What is a pirate's favorite letter?
I don't know.
You expect it to be R,
Yeah, you're right.
but it be the C. Alright, next one.
That's fantastic. I'm so happy you opened it with tell the pirate one.
Tell the pirate one.
So
Yeah.
we're not telling each other the joke. We're telling the listener the joke in this one.
Yeah. It's,
This is meta.
So all of these are about flossing. Literally every single one of these Fortnite
Every
jokes are about
single-
flossing.
Every single one.
Well, except for this one, which is, did you hear about the thieves who broke into the alphabet factory? They only took the L.
I feel bad for them, dude. They only got one thing. There's whole 26 letters. They took one.
Also, there's more than one of them because it's plural, thieves, and they only could have they get one item.
Big
So
of
obviously
letters.
they're not very good.
How big of letters are they? Like I don't know about Fortnite inventory, but you got 4 slots down there.
I don't get it. Like, who does the floss at Buckingham Palace? The Royale family?
oh.
Oh.
Like, why are all these about flossing? Is that really
Because
that big in the
that's-
game?
That's the only thing people do in real life that they, you know, and stop there. That's the only thing people do in real life is floss.
Well, I
They
thought the
wake up,
default
they
dance was
floss.
more of a meme than like
No,
floss.
Like, flossing is so much easier.
Default dance is like
is
clap.
hard to do. Yeah, but you gotta do like the leg movement. It's like a Michael Jackson.
You mean like
walk?
walk?
Yeah, but you gotta walk in place. That's pretty difficult.
Trust me.
Unless you're
It's
on a
not that
treadmill.
hard. Just trust me. I know it's not that hard.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what they
Why
say.
do Fortnite players have beautiful teeth? They love to floss. Like,
It's pretty good. I like it.
oh yeah, this one's pretty good. Skeletons are rubbish at Fortnite. They got no skins.
This is TF2. This is just TF2. We're like, oh, dude, you don't have any hats. You're terrible at the game.
How do you make your TV do the floss? Emote control.
I'm sorry, I'm over here like dying inside.
I don't get why they all floss.
Inside.
Why they all floss?
Because that's it's funny.
Do they even have rights to the floss? Didn't the guy try to sue him?
He did, but because
The
he
backpack kid.
yes, but because he did a Fortnite sponsored event, consented, like he gave his consent to be in the event to sponsor Fortnite. They were like, dude, you have no
Technically, you can do
case. You have no case. Like this is your dance.
Well, didn't they try to didn't the guy try to sue for the Carlton dance as well?
Yes, he did, and he also lost that one as well. I do not
How do you
know.
lose that one?
I don't know exactly how. I think it's because it wasn't technically him; it was his character, so he didn't
No.
personally have the rights to it.
That's weirdly specific, and I don't like that.
I also can't imagine you trying to own body movement.
Yeah.
Yes and
Really
no.
just doesn't make sense.
Like the Millie Rock, that is very rapper specific. I'd understand in that scenario.
Like you can just change the
I mean,
name.
it's
and
kind of like the that whole thing that went down. I was explaining to you guys the case of a couple artists having squanders over, is it possible to steal a style and other things like that. And I don't necessarily think it's possible to steal a style or dance or music. Remember, there was like a Bruno Mars thing that completely, or was it Bruno? I don't know. Somebody that copied another piece of music identically. But you
Big
can't
Time Rush.
own notes. You can't own. Yes, yeah, I forgot about that one. Can't own notes. You can't own styles. You can't own things. But you can copy composition. That's what you make of it. The Big Time Rush copying song 2, that was very clearly uninspired, and they just wanted to make the song with different lyrics. Right?
I think that's a show.
Yeah, but they made whatever, and what the I just lost my entire train of thought. Composition. I don't know, if you're an artist, you can have a similar style, but it's the composition. If
Well, look
if
at
I'm
Vanilla
making the
Ice and
similar style,
Queen.
yeah, it's the composition.
That's,
One's
the
one's
same
a rap
thing,
song, the other's under pressure. I don't even know what kind of song that is. How do you describe
Classic
this?
rock.
I think
I guess.
punk. Or not punk, pop.
Punk.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's punk.
yeah.
Rock
Yeah.
on.
I would love to hear a Queen punk song. Garage
Too bad
band
you never
punk.
will.
But I was
He might make a new single.
yeah.
Go back to.
I always think
Crazy.
of sorry. I always think of the old school artists like Michelangelo, Da Vinci, people like that. Is that they would see people doing art like them and be like, "Oh, it's good, but I do this better. I like my brush strokes better." It's their own spin on a genre of art.
Yeah, that's exactly what an art style is. It's like, okay, bringing this up. Anybody who's seen my art, I take a lot of inspiration from the artist Kokodo, right? Great guy, whatever. Anyway, I started out very much being inspired by his art. I would reference it. I'd be like, okay, how does he draw this? How does he draw that? And then I referenced other artists obviously, but that was the main one I would use. And then since then, I don't reference really anyone because I've gotten to the point of okay, I've taken this from a few artists. I've taken this that I like. This sort of coloring, this sort of line art, blah blah. And then you make a style that's like a conglomeration of things you liked or things that you've done good.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you always compare yourself, but as long as you have some sort of spin.
I like to think of it as the difference between an artist and a heckler. Like the artist will look at a piece of art and they'll be like, I like this, but I would do it a bit differently. Like I would my lines would be thicker or quicker, sharper, less organic, and they would actually do it. and they would implement their vision. Well, a heckler would just be like, "Oh, I could do that better," and they leave it at that, and they just like move on throughout the gallery. Oh, this isn't art. Like,
Yeah, it would be like constructive criticism, which is another topic on itself. I can't get criticism, and I hate
Yeah,
it.
that. I know you've tried a lot.
I have. So I've posted on ArtCrit, the subreddit that has like 100 people, and they're like, "It's great." That's not what I'm asking. That is not the point of the subreddit. Thanks, but no thanks.
Have you ever posted anything to your Twitter and stuff? You like criticize me?
I mean,
You did
guess
that one
not.
thing. I know that. I
think
remember
I
that.
might have.
You responded to someone, but
But I
like,
feel like
post
I'd
as a
still
tweet?
just get, no offense to
Great.
people who say it's good. I'm very happy that you like my art. But, I feel like I would just get cool, epic, rad. And as much as that fills a spot of its own, it's not exactly what I'd be looking for.
you just gotta make it super specific. You gotta be like, hey, what is some bad things you see in my art?
I could do that actually.
Want
I
to
guess I never thought
improve.
about that. Speaking of social media, whatever happened to Tumblr? That place sucks now.
Ooh. Yeah,
Sucks.
it's almost like they try to ban everything.
heard
Yeah,
Pornhub was trying to acquire Tumblr.
Oh yeah. We're back to this again. We've talked about almost all of the same topic.
We have.
I know,
We
right?
haven't talked about
Crazy.
Reach yet.
Well, I
Talk about that
I
re-
brought it up.
You did bring it up, but it hasn't been a 20-minute segment yet.
I think one of the most niche things you brought up as well is Lego stop motion, but who's counting? So speaking of repetition, how about that other adpocalypse that's going on? Or it's about to start.
I don't even. Our videos aren't even monetized, so I don't even know anything about that.
I know that I hate to say it, and he's been right before, and it really does hurt me to say that he's been right again. Is Alex Jones? The internet apologizes.
Frogs are gay. huh?
Frogs are gay, and media is now being controlled, and our amendments are being scrutinized.
From what I know of, this new adpocalypse is very political. Like, it's like, a conservative made a video, and then Vox, I think it is, one of their reporters didn't like how he was saying stuff, and he had a shirt that was just wrong, and he was advertising it on YouTube, and now YouTube's stepping in, and I think YouTube is trying to do the most it can, because they are generally slow in response time, but from what I know, they've been responding to this stuff like crazy, like instantly, because they want to keep their ad. They don't want to screw over their platform again.
Yeah, so
They've been doing everything they can.
that's Steven Crowder.
Yes,
He
that him.
is also the founder of that glorious meme where he's sitting at a table at a park, probably at like a college campus, and it's like something, I believe in something, changed my mind.
Oh,
I watched a few of those.
I
you
like,
told me about this a little bit.
I like the videos he did where he took some like California students, like heavy liberal base. I think they were like liberal arts students as well, and they like took them through step by step, like what it takes to actually acquire a firearm legally, because they didn't know. And instead of just taking the offensive and being like, "Oh, you're a stupid kid, you don't know anything, like that's not right," they were like, "Well, how about we show you?"
Yeah, that's
Well, he was also selling like shirts with derogatory terms to the LGBT
Yes.
community.
Yeah,
That's-
I
which
don't.
is
I don't
not
agree with any
good.
of that. I don't even want to step on any of that. No, I'm not. We're not gonna say any political biases in this, right? Obviously.
Absolutely.
But I will say I believe that the main issue with the political climate. Wow, which really got heavy in this podcast. Main issue with political climate. Nobody on either side wants to even value the other side's opinion, and often every like few years, it almost shifts with the president actually. Whoever is opposite of the president is the side that's like beat up and bullied. For example, when Obama, actually no, whoever is the side of the president, my bad, not opposite. When Obama, there was all the feminists, the libtards, whoa, all those kind of jokes, right? I mean, that was everywhere. Heck, I used to watch some of them, so they were funny. But now it's the opposite. It's it's a lot of Nazis, alt-right, bigots, the redneck stereotype, which those are still just as funny. So
Did
I
you?
just-
I'm gonna laugh at everyone. Okay.
Personally speaking, I don't think like I get why the reporter is making claims against. They're not making claims. It's trying to do stuff about what Steven Crowder is doing. I understand that, but a lot of the late night TV show hosts do all that kind of stuff anyway against Trump. I think it is like Steven Crowder made that point. I think it should be equal across all playing fields if they are going to take down derogatory stuff. But basically both sides are in the wrong here, in my opinion, on some basis. I do think that political views and such and political satire on YouTube is already touchy as it is. I don't really think it has a place. Like, yeah, if you want to make like a joke about like OJ, you know, do what you want to do.
The glove
It's
is
very
not
weird,
a
okay.
fit.
Well, I just know that
wants
because
to quit.
Super Meg, but Super Meg jokes about that a lot, and it's not like they don't drag on about it. They just, oh yeah, OJ's innocent. That's what they joke about. But
There
when they
was
make an
one-
entire 5-minute like TV show host says Trump bad, and he says other stuff about him and all this jazz. I heard something about Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon did a skit where they had blackface and stuff, but no one cares. I don't know.
It's very odd.
Yeah.
You know.
Kind of getting away from this topic of like the realm of reality. EA, Electronic Arts, the company that seems to not be able to do anything right as of recently.
As of ever.
As of ever, yeah. They released kind of like icon skins for their recent Battlefield release, Battlefield 5.
Like player icons and stuff, right?
Kind of like specific skins for their characters, like supposed to be like hero style
Oh.
characters.
Yep.
Well, they started the ship of character skins with a Nazi.
Yeah.
Yes. Obviously, people didn't like it. I watched the video. Obviously, being an American, I don't think Nazis are cool, and I don't support any of that. But the video,
Fascism is
they
wrong.
definitely made this guy look like a badass. Like people are fighting all around him. He's got his eye bandaged up, and he's just going in, and he's got his Luger out, and he's just capping dudes left and right. Apparently, his name was shared with a real anti-fascist, which that's what it looked like the word said. It might not be what actually the word means. When I think of anti-fascist, I don't think of
A Nazi?
but
Quite the opposite.
Well, that's a pretty big assumption. Like a lot of people just, every Nazi wanted to push the same thing. Well, not every soldier in America wants to push the same thing. I can't imagine every single soldier there was a fascist.
that is what they ended up coming out and saying. Their official statement was, one, they didn't know his name was shared. They didn't do a lot of research into it, which is weird for a game that wants to be historically accurate. And the second part of their statement was, he wasn't a Nazi, he's just a German soldier that is in that time period. Not every German soldier was a Nazi.
Yeah. They were completely different things. It was a Nazi regime and they stole the German army.
Yeah.
It didn't help that the Nazi regime took over Germany.
Yeah.
So,
More like the Nazi Party did, but
Nazi
same stuff.
regime,
Same stuff.
It's just a funnier word.
Bigger word. Yeah.
It's big and funny.
Yeah, I think it's cool that they're trying to make icons, and I don't know why people would get mad at historical accuracy, even if it was a Nazi.
Well,
I
that's
get
the thing, it's gotta be
glorifying a
historic-
Nazi is not good.
Yes.
It's got to be historically accurate, but it can't be offensive, which is all of history.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's just kind of how this
I do think that glorifying fascism isn't a great thing, but you gotta also imagine there are people in Germany at the time who were still trying to do great things and help people and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
One thing that you'll probably never hear people have a problem with is cowboy games. And
Cowboys are pretty cool, though.
styles with westward expansion.
Mm-hmm.
That was
Man,
not
I
a great
wonder why I
time for
like
the
cowboy
natives.
games.
Cowboys are cool. I agree. John Marston.
Trail of Tears.
Yeah. Clint Eastwood. Fuck yeah. Cool
It's a
guy.
good song.
Mm-hmm.
Like Gorillas.
Oh no, the Buggy song is my favorite. I know it has a real name, but I would call it the Buggy Song.
2000.
Yeah. It's the Buggy
Did
Song.
you? I put this in our chat the other day earlier. You guys listen to Damon's new song?
Solo?
Yeah, no, it's not solo.
It's-
He's
yeah.
working with some Africans. It sounds vague, but he's working with a bunch of, I guess, small artists from Africa. It's like the whole thing is called Africa Express, and the album's like an Mowgli or something. I know he's like shaved his head or something. He's gone a bit odd. He's still the same Damon,
Midlife
but
crisis.
possibly. Well, he's always been experimental. That's something I like about Damon. But the song's very, very weird. You know, I like the instrument. The instrumental's super unique for him. Like it had a whole new style, and the vocals felt like Damon, but the lyric was the same thing, repeated the whole song, and it was like I don't know, something like Rise Taiga.
Yeah, the first time I heard it, I didn't look at the title of it, and I thought they were saying Wakanda. I was like, what the hell is this? And then I saw they said Rise Tiger, and I'm like, oh, that makes more sense.
It's very odd. Like I said, I'm curious for the rest of the album, but if that's like the only song Damon's in, then I'm slightly disappointed.
I think it's weird how many projects he's on with music. I mean, I guess music was a part of his life, but
Every 6
his
months,
entire life. But
he's got an album. Last album he made was in November. That was Good, the Bad, the Queen. 6 months before that was June, and that was the Now Now. I don't know when any other album was before that, but I know he's kind of on a roll right now.
the thing is, not like a big artist either, which is
No.
kind of weird.
He's
Does a lot of
regarded
stuff.
as it's like a cult movie. Like Damon is someone that it's weird. It's anybody who's high up in the music industry and respected listens to Damon. But he's not high up. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like he's something that all like the bigger artists enjoy and know of and respect, but then they don't themselves. And then he himself is not that, popular. It's very
Well,
weird.
think about it. He keeps his audience, or in the terms of gorillas, their audience on their toes. It's always changing. It's always evolving, and that's something that someone who develops content always wants to try to pick up on, so they don't become stale.
Yeah.
Well, I think Damon, he always does a lot of different stuff, but I think he's always had a fascination with like African culture and that kind of music, because he did Mr. Tembo a
That was
while
a great
ago.
song.
He did that a while ago.
The whole album is fantastic. I've heard from, a few reviewers or whatever saying it's too dry of an album, too drab. But that's
Yeah.
not a bad thing. That's just the atmosphere. Like sorry you're not that kind of person to enjoy it. But I liked the I'm somebody who the album cover matches if it matches the atmosphere of the song, I love it even more. That whole album, other than Mr. Timbo, because that's a very upbeat song, the whole album feels great. Which is what the album cover is. It's him sitting in a gray room alone, black and white, looking down at the floor. And it just feels like that. It's a cool album. Most of Gorillaz albums are like that as well. The color scheme for the debut album, it feels like they're, like a fun little car ride in the buggy. Demon Days is gritty, Plastic Beach is colorful and oceany. It's humans. And Now is really interesting and like flashy. I mean,
Like retro.
yeah, very retro. And it's, even though Now isn't exactly a fantastic album, it's still cool. And then as well as the Maryland, it felt like this weird, creepy, board-side puppet aesthetic. And it was spooky.
Yeah, I think that's a thing that all like content creators can fall victim to. And Damon, I think, falls victim to it as well, where he spreads himself. Not I
Too
wouldn't say thin, but he spreads himself out there. So like, no one's a Damon fan. They're a fan of one of the projects he's on. Like, there's probably a lot more Gorillaz fans than anything else, but they like Damon. They don't like anything else they do because they don't care about that. They care about Gorillaz. They don't care about Damon. He's never really the face of the projects. He's always there, but there's no Damon fans. There's fans of what he does.
It wasn't until I started reaching out to his, like the non-Gorillaz content, that's what I found him by, that I started becoming a Damon fan, like in general.
Mm-hmm.
Where I started to respect him. Heck, he's my essentially my musical idol, even though I don't listen to him a lot anymore. But you know, I went to his solo stuff, and I was like, man, this is sad. It's cool, but it's sad. And then I didn't listen to it a whole lot. And then I was like, Blur, wow, I don't like rock music. And then I liked rock music, so then I listened to it. And you know, it's cool when even though he spreads himself thin, it's always nice to be like, no matter what genre I'm listening to, there's at least like one Damon song in the playlist.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh, I'm listening to like rap, you know, all alone, feel good. Oh, I want to listen to some garage band song too. You know, oh, synth pop, anything from Humans. So, or no.
No, hearing that he's working on a new project with musicians from Africa. For some reason, the only African musicians I could think of is Die Atwood.
I don't even know who that is.
Do you remember the movie Chappie?
Nope.
No.
Oh.
Yeah.
It sounds familiar, but no, I
know. I've seen the movie. I've seen parts of the movie Chappie.
Okay,
it's essentially the Titanfall robot. But
yes.
Um,
So the humans that he is around and interacts with the most, like I would call them in the movie, they're like street urchins. Urchins.
Street urchins?
Urchins, yeah. Urchins. Just like, yeah, but the whole world is like a dystopia. But they didn't really change their appearance most for that movie. That's what they look like. That's how they tour. It's who they are. It's their aesthetic. I don't listen to their music, but they are definitely interesting individuals that assemble a group called a band, I think.
Called a band.
Generally, a group of musicians who work together to make music is called a band.
Alright, guys, think about to head out.
Oh shit, he actually just left.
Oh shit, I'm about to head out too. Fuck it.
I don't know where the light switch is, guys. Hello?
I have a gun.
Sounds like a good ending to me.
I have a gun.
What?
I have a gun.
What? What do you mean you have a gun?
I have a gun.
Cock
Why?
I have a gun.
Cock it. Shit.